That AI agent you just paid $5,000 to see built, the agency wants another $1,500 a month to maintain it. Here's a question nobody's asking. What exactly are they maintaining? I've seen agencies charge thousands per month for work that takes 2 hours. I've also seen businesses try to cut costs and watch their AI systems fall apart within weeks. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what AI maintenance actually requires, what's often overstated to pad invoices, and the specific questions that you need to ask before signing any ongoing contract. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you should be paying for and what you absolutely should not be paying for. So here's what's happening right now in the AI services market. Agencies are building AI agents and automations for businesses, chatbots, voice agents, workflow automations, all of it. And most of them are quoting ongoing maintenance fees that range from a few $100s to several thousands per month. Some of those fees are completely legitimate. Some of them, let's just say, not so. The problem is that most business owners have no way to tell the difference. You don't know what actually needs ongoing attention versus what's being inflated to create recurring revenue. And I get it. On the agency side, recurring revenue is the lifeblood of a sustainable business. Trust me, I know. But from your side as a client, you deserve to know what you're actually paying for. A quick bit about me so you know where I'm coming from. I'm Sam Weinstein. I spent the last decade helping small and mid-sized businesses implement complex systems, generally Salesforce, CRMs, cloud systems, the kind of stuff that promises to transform your business. It only works if someone actually sticks around to make sure it's set up in the right way. Now, I run White City AI, where we help businesses implement AI agents and automations and actually deliver results. And because I've been on both sides of this, as the consultant selling services and as the in-house person buying them, I know exactly how these conversations go. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, I'm going to walk you through what actually requires ongoing attention. These are legitimate maintenance items that someone genuinely needs to handle. Then I'll show you what's often overstated, the line items that sound important but are frequently not justifying the cost. After that, I'll break down the typical cost components so you understand what you're actually paying for. Lastly, I'll give you the exact questions to ask any agency before you sign that maintenance contract. Let's get into it. Let me be clear about something upfront. AI systems do require maintenance, 1000%. It's not like buying a toaster where you can plug it in and forget about it for 10 years. However, the maintenance is specific and it's definable. Let me walk you through what legitimately needs ongoing attention. Prompt and instruction tuning is probably the most legitimate ongoing maintenance item, and here's why. AI agents drift in performance over time, not because they change, but because the world around them changes. Customer questions evolve, your products change, edge cases emerge that weren't anticipated when the system was built. Let me give you a real example. Say you have a customer support agent handling questions about your software product. When it launched, customers asked basic questions. How do I log in? How do I reset my password? 6 months later, you've added new features. Customers are now asking about integrations you never had before. They're running into edge cases where the new billing system is not working the way they expected it to. They're asking about the mobile app that didn't exist when the agent was built. The agent doesn't know automatically about any of this. Someone needs to review conversations, identify where the agent is falling short, and refine the instructions. This is real work. It requires someone who understands both your business and how to write effective prompts. And it's ongoing, not because the agency is padding hours, but because your business keeps evolving. Model updates and migrations are the next area here where maybe sometimes business owners don't realize the underlying AI models, GPT-4, Claude, Gemini, whatever you're using, they get updated by their providers regularly. Sometimes the updates are improvements. Sometimes they change behavior in subtle ways that break things. An agent that worked perfectly last month might respond differently after a model update. Maybe it's more verbose now. Maybe it's handling certain edge cases differently. Maybe it's refusing to do something it used to do without issue. This happens all the time. Someone needs to test after updates and adjust if necessary. And occasionally, this is important, models get deprecated entirely. OpenAI or Anthropic decides to sunset a model version and you need to migrate to a new one. This isn't theoretical, it happens regularly. If your agency isn't monitoring for these changes and tests after updates, you might not notice until customers start complaining. Next thing is integration maintenance. If your AI workflow connects to other systems, let's say your CRM, your email platform, scheduling tools, databases, etc., those integrations can break. APIs change, authentication tokens expire. The other system updates its date format. Your CRM provider decides to modify how they handle certain fields. This is standard software maintenance, not unique to AI, but it is real and someone needs to handle it. Small example, I worked with a client whose AI agent was pulling customer data from their CRM to personalize responses. Worked great for 3 months. Then their CRM provider updated their API, changed how dates were formatted, a small change, and suddenly the agent was pulling the wrong information for every single customer. It took about 2 hours to fix once we identified what the problem was. But if no one was monitoring, it could have run broken for weeks. And then in terms of error handling, someone should also be watching for failures. This doesn't mean staring at a dashboard 24/7. We'll talk about that in a minute. It does mean having systems in place to catch problems. Did the agent stop responding? Are your customers abandoning conversations at a particular point? Are API costs spiking unexpectedly? Basic monitoring and alerting requires setup and occasional attention when alerts fire. The key word here is occasional. A well-built system with proper alerting doesn't need constant human oversight. But when something goes wrong, someone's got to respond. It also has to be updating your knowledge base. If your agent draws on company documentations, FAQs, product info, policies, whatever, that content needs to stay current. When you change your return policy, the agent needs to know. When you launch a new product, the agent needs information about it. When you discontinue a service, the agent needs to stop recommending it. This might be your responsibility or the agency's, depending on the arrangement. But either way, it's a real maintenance that needs to happen. I've seen agents confidently tell customers about products that were discontinued 6 months ago. Not because the agent was broken, because no one updated its knowledge base. Then, in terms of security and access management, API keys need rotation. This is maybe a little bit more technical, but still important that you understand. Security patches need application if there's any custom infrastructure involved. This is less frequent than other items, but it's still legitimate. If your agent is handling customer data, security is not optional. So, those are the legitimate maintenance items: prompt tuning, model updates, integration maintenance, monitoring, knowledge base updates, and security. Notice what they all have in common. They're all specific and they're all definable. You can point to exactly what work is being done and why it matters. Now, let's talk about what's often overstated, perhaps. And here's where things get interesting. Okay, these are the line items that sound important, but frequently don't really justify the cost being charged here. Let's say AI training is the best example of this. Probably the most misused term in the industry. Unless you're actually fine tuning a custom model, which trust me, most smaller businesses are not doing, there's no ongoing training happening. Let me explain the difference. True model training means I'm taking a base AI model and training it on your specific data to create a custom version. This is expensive, technically complex, and rarely necessary for a typical business application. What most agencies actually mean when they say training is prompt refinement, adjusting the instructions and examples you give the AI to improve its responses. Prompt refinement is legitimate work. I talked about it in the previous section, but calling it training implies something much more technical, much more expensive than what's actually happening. If the agency tells you they're training your AI, ask them specifically, what does that mean? Are you fine tuning a custom model? Are you refining prompts? The answer matters because the work involved and the appropriate cost is dramatically different. Next thing is 24/7 monitoring. For most simple agents and workflows, there's nothing to monitor 24/7. Automated alerts handle failures. If the system goes down, an alert fires. If error rates spike, an alert fires. If API costs exceed a threshold, an alert fires. A human checking dashboards constantly is not adding value for a typical SMB deployment. It's like paying someone to watch your smoke detector in case it beeps. Now, there are exceptions. If you're running a high volume operation where downtime costs thousands of dollars per hour, real time human monitoring might make sense. But for most small and mid sized businesses, automated alerts with responsive support is more than enough. When an agency quotes you for 24/7 monitoring, ask what specifically they're monitoring and what actions they take. If the answer is, we check the dashboard periodically and respond to alerts, that is not 24/7 monitoring, that is standard support. Next thing, continuous optimization. Some optimization happens, but it's often front loaded. Here's the reality: after the first few months, a well built agent stabilizes. The major issues get identified and fixed. The prompts get refined. The edge cases get handled. Ongoing optimization becomes occasional rather than continuous. Think about it like a new employee. The first few months, there's a ton of feedback and adjustment. They're learning the role, they're making mistakes, they're learning the systems, they're getting corrected. But after they're trained, you're not continuously optimizing them. You're occasionally giving feedback, on a quarterly basis when something comes up. AI agents work the same way. The intensive optimization period, the very beginning. After that, it's maintenance mode, handling issues as they arise, not constantly tweaking. That's why we charge up front and the ongoing maintenance is much less. If an agency is charging you the same continuous optimization fee in month 12 than they charged you in month two, ask them specifically, what did you optimize last month? If you can't point to concrete changes, you might be paying for work that isn't even happening. Next is vague platform fees. Sometimes agencies wrap margins into a platform fee that doesn't correspond to actual costs. Platform fee can mean a lot of things. It can be legitimate, covering the cost of workflow automation tools like end-to-end, hosting, monitoring infrastructure, or it might be a way to add margin without having to justify it. Worth asking specifically what you're paying for. What platform? What does it do? What would it cost if you accessed it directly? I'm not saying all platform fees are illegitimate. Some agencies build genuine value into their platforms, customized dashboards, specialized tools, proprietary workflows, but you should understand what you're getting. Point number three is understanding the actual cost components. When an agency quotes you a monthly fee, ask them to break it down. Here's what legitimate cost components typically look like, okay? Number one, API costs. These are usage-based fees paid to OpenAI, Anthropic, whatever AI provider powers your system. These should be transparent and roughly trackable. You can actually look up the pricing for these APIs and estimate what your usage should cost. Some agencies pass these through at cost. Personally, I eat them as an agency and customer never sees them. Some mark them up, some bundle them into a flat fee. None of these approaches is inherently wrong, but you should understand which one you're dealing with. If usage spikes, say you're on a promotion and suddenly have 10 times the normal customer inquiry, what happens to your bill? This matters. Hosting and infrastructure, servers, databases, workflow platforms, the technical infrastructure that keeps your system running. For simple automations, it's usually modest. We're talking tens of dollars per month, not hundreds. If you're being charged significant infrastructure fees for a basic chatbot, you should be asking questions, my friend. Now, more complex systems with custom backends, multiple integrations, high availability requirements legitimately do cost more, but the cost should scale with complexity. Remember that. Next thing, support hours, time allocated for fixes and questions. Ask how many hours are included and what happens if you exceed them. Also, ask what counts against those hours. Does a quick email question use up support time? What about a 5-minute fix? Some agencies include generous support. Personally, I offer unlimited support. Others include minimal support and bill hourly for anything beyond basic questions. Neither is wrong, but you need to know which model you're in. Proactive optimization, scheduled reviews, and improvements. If you see this in the contract, ask for specifics. How often do they review performance? What metrics do they track? What does a typical optimization session involve? If you can't answer these questions specifically, the optimization might be more theoretical than actual. Integration monitoring. Watching for breaks in the connected systems. This is legitimate, but it shouldn't be huge. Monitoring tools are largely automated. The cost is in responding when something breaks, not in the monitoring itself. Remember that. So, before you sign any maintenance contract, you got to get clarity on these questions. I'm going to give you the exact language to use. Okay, here are the questions. Number one, what exactly is included versus billed separately? Don't accept vague answers. Get specifics. Your monthly fee covers maintenance and support is not good enough. What maintenance? What support? What's not covered? Question two. How are AI API costs handled? Are they passed through at cost? Are they marked up? Are they bundled into the flat fee? What happens if usage spikes? This matters because API costs can vary significantly based on usage. If you're on a flat fee and usage doubles, that's great. If you're on pass-through pricing and usage doubles, your bill doubles. Remember that. Question three, how many support hours are included? What's the response time commitment? What counts against those hours? Some agencies promise 4-hour response times. Others promise 24-hour response times. Know what you're getting. I'm telling you, when you need it, you need it. Question four, what does the optimization process look like? How often do you review performance? How do you identify issues? What metrics do you track? A good agency should be able to walk you through their process specifically. We review the system regularly is not an answer. We review conversation logs weekly, track resolution rates and customer satisfaction scores, and make prompt adjustments based on patterns we identify. That's an acceptable answer. Got it? Question five. What happens if an integration breaks? Is fixing it included or is it billed hourly? Integrations break all the time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Know in advance how that's handled. Question six. What is the handoff if we part ways? Very important. This is crucial and often overlooked. Will you own the prompt workflows and configurations? Can you maintain it yourself or take it to another provider? Or are you locked into this agency forever? I've seen businesses trapped with agencies they're unhappy with simply because all the intellectual property, the prompts, the workflows, the configurations belonged to the agency. Don't let that be you. Question seven. What does the month-to-month cost after the initial term look like? Sometimes maintenance fees are artificially low during a contract period to get you locked in, and then they jump significantly when you go month to month. Know the full picture before you sign. So now you have clarity. You know it actually requires ongoing attention, prompt tuning, model updates, integration maintenance, monitoring, knowledge base updates, and security. You know it's often overstated, vague AI training, unnecessarily monitoring your system, inflated continuous optimization, and unexplained platform fees. You know the cost components to look for, and you know the questions to ask before signing. This is a solid foundation for evaluating any AI maintenance proposal. But here's the next step. Understanding maintenance costs is important. It's only part of the equation. The bigger question is, what should you be paying for in the initial build? How do you evaluate whether an AI project is worth the investment in the first place? So I break down exactly how to evaluate AI project proposals, what to look for, what red flags to watch for, and how to calculate whether ROI actually makes sense in this video right here. Click it, watch it. It will help you make smart decisions before you even get to the maintenance conversation. And if this video helped you, if it gave you some clarity or helped you feel more confident about evaluating AI costs, hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out videos like this every single week. No hype, no fluff, just practical, honest guidance on how to use AI to grow your business. And if you're a business owner or leader who wants to learn or explore how AI could make a real difference in your specific situation, I offer free 30-minute AI consultations. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a real conversation about what's possible, what makes sense for you. The link's in the description below if you'd like to book a call. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Sam Weinstein. Go make smart business decisions, and I will see you in the next one.